The idea is to make it
All right.
segue into the topics. That's what you want. So we're gonna give you
Yeah,
some
of
time
course.
before we start the episode, so you can think of something. Give you a little time.
Yes.
Just let
Little time.
your brain, get all those synapses firing.
This
Get
is a good
everything
intro right
ready to
here.
go.
You should have been filming this.
I am.
Perfect intro. Wonderful. I'm just filming.
I am.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here once again. The three Seething Boomers episode. What episode is this actually? That's a good
Number
question.
60, big 6-0.
The big 6. Oh, we are 60.
This is the final episode. If YouTube bans us
Huh.
for this one.
I'm
I'm gonna go out with a bang.
Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. Fuck. And we have a good co-host of ours here.
Yes.
Uh,
Returning guest.
does-
Hello, everyone. This is Three Seething Boomers Talk About the News. And today I've been brought up on to the show to talk about this atrocity of a game called Marathon. And
no.
I wanted to give my input on this too as well. So I want to give a special thanks to my other co-hosts for letting me come in as a special guest.
Impression of.
Our guy review bro.
Oh shit.
Hopefully he doesn't get upset over it. It's all just fun and games.
Holy smoke.
I know whenever they ask to make the biopic or something at Illumination, when they make the cartoon biopic of him with the minions and everything, they know to reach out to me.
Great.
Oh my
Let's get
God.
some clapping in here. We gotta let people know that everyone's clapping.
Yeah, give me the
Love-
Jeb Bush treatment, bro. Please clap.
The love and adoration that we get from our tens of fans. All right. I gotta share my.
Can I ask you a question?
No. I gotta share my screen.
Oh, good lord. Like, remember when first-person shooters had a military aesthetic? Remember when it was more about like, I hate, because now the distinction, or at least the way they categorize it, is like the dude bros. In terms of like that level of aggression, or the misogyny, whatever baseless labeling they like to put on it. And I remember when the military shooters of the old days, had a more appropriate aesthetic.
You remember drinking your Crystal Pepsi in the 90s and playing Wolfenstein and Doom, bro?
Yeah.
The
Return to
amazing
Wolfenstein.
FPS. It's so
think
fucking good.
Use promo
think
code
that game was
Crystal Pepsi
controversial.
to get your stomach pumped.
Oh, you already know, man.
20%
Destroys your
off.
throat, makes your stomach feel like crap, but it puts you in the mood to game, the gamer fuel. Before there was Mountain Dew and Doritos, there was Crystal Pepsi and Domino's.
Oh my god. Is it based?
You already know, man. All those
Yeah.
sleepovers, especially when you hang out with your friends, going to Blockbuster to rent a game, there's nothing better.
This is a bygone era. This is like when your parents would reminisce about the 60s or the 50s. That's what we are right now. Remember Blockbusters and and Crystal Pepsi?
Oh, good lord.
Oh, you already know, man. I'm already having my internal boomer renaissance moment. Like, we had it so good back then, man. We could get all those groceries for less than $20. It was so good. I remember when I bought my first house, working at McDonald's.
Yeah, that's why I
for
keep making the joke that
14 hours a week.
I should have bought a house when I was 6 years old. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I was thinking.
Why
I keep
did you
making
actually
this joke.
tell the joke instead of telling the punchline?
No, but that's the
Yeah.
truth.
Just imagine dude walking into a bank, skipping kindergarten. Like, I'd like to take out a loan, please, for this house.
He's got both his
Holy
thumbs and his
shoot.
overalls pulling on him.
Yeah.
I'd like to buy a house, please.
What was I thinking?
Oh man!
point
All right,
about-
we're gonna get into this marathon video, and the quality is gonna be bad, so my internet doesn't die on me. But what do you mean by the whole dude bro thing? What do you mean exactly?
I don't know, man. There's like this stain that's been put on first person shooter genre that I don't understand. You know, and
A
just
Stain?
they've a stain, yeah, and they've done everything in their power to remove the military aesthetic. Um, like even now, you see the Call of Duty now. It's like they have wrestlers, you know, in Call of Duty. They have Gundams, you know. They have
You got
all
Cheech
these
and
other
Chong
influencing.
and come
Yeah,
up and
Cheech and
shoot you.
Chong in it. Yeah, like it's like why should I take this serious? You know, it's not a real tactical shooter. You know, I thought that was the point. You know, I'm giving call outs. You guys are about to get flanked. You
I
know,
mean,
pay attention.
this is the problem with
Watch our rears. Watch mine.
a lot of these games with these random guest characters. Sometimes it just brings you out of the, it just takes you out of the aesthetic of the game. Like I wouldn't mind that stuff if like people could turn it off and be like, I don't want to see that stuff, so let me turn it. It's like what 20% of your audience maybe will turn it off. Like why not have that feature? I don't even understand.
Yeah, that's one thing that I agree on. You should have a feature that you can turn it off. And I'm angry that the companies haven't done that either. They want you to see the cosmetic because they think that, oh, it'll encourage other players to buy it also, you know? I mean, look at everybody. Everybody has their own identity, and it's not a problem, you know. But it's just like, really, you know, I got to look at Rick and Morty in my Modern Warfare, you know. It's like, come on, I'm in war. I'm in the middle of Kuwait.
I got a real gun, Morty. I got a real gun.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of Kuwait, and I got Rick and Morty next to me. Like, come on, how am I supposed to take this serious?
All right, but let's watch this marathon trailer. And like I said, the quality's not great, so bear with my bad internet. I wonder if that's too loud. No, that's okay. Lower that a little bit more. Feel free to chime in, tell me to pause or whatever.
No, it's absolutely terrible. I don't even have to look at this. What is it? This.
I think the presentation here
presentation.
is aesthetically it's interesting.
Is this good?
But it looks
I
more
thought
like
this-
it looks more like a music video than anything, right? Or like a movie trailer.
Listen, at this point, the industry has established that it's nothing more than a race. It's no longer a marathon. You're either at the finish line, you know, or you're behind.
If you would have told me this was like Death Stranding from Kojima, I would have believed you.
Yeah, it seems like what they're going for, but they'll ruin it in a few minutes later in this video. They'll absolutely ruin it. Everything they built up in these couple of seconds.
See, he drank the Crystal Pepsi. That's why he's like that.
Psycho Mantis. Psycho Mantis.
Oh shoot.
So this is supposed to be an extraction shooter like Tarkov. Where like you jump in a big map like a Fortnite kind of map, and then the game gives you a mission like go kill this guy, go help this guy, whatever the fuck, and then you leave and you gather equipment and shit.
So they're all clones?
From an antique land who said, two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them,
I mean, come on, man. Like, how many fucking clone shooters are you gonna give me? How many? I don't care anymore. I don't want the futuristic shooter. You guys had the chance to do it, and you guys ruined it.
You will endure the futuristic shooter. You will have the little caterpillar parasites crawl all over your body. You will puke the Crystal Pepsi. You will own nothing and be happy, bro. Just accept it.
It's bullshit.
in the heart that
I gotta pause this for a sec because this character is like reciting like some. I forget where this is from. This is probably a very famous piece of writing, and then they're playing like classical music. So like, it's like they have this presentation where they're showcasing writing and music that they had nothing to do with creating. And it's like they could showcase this cool, interesting art style, okay, but as far as writing goes, as far as music goes, are they gonna have the same level of presentation as the thing they're like using inside here? Because he's like quoting something. I don't remember what it's from, but it's interesting what he's quoting, right? And the voice actor's doing a good job. And then later on, they have the characters speak, and you'll hear it, and it's like just cringe, like stuff they wrote. This looks like a tech demo. This just looks like shit right now. This I don't even understand. Does this make any sense to you?
Not really. It's not really showing me any gameplay. That's why it's a problem. It's not showing me any gameplay at all. I'm not sure
I mean, it feels.
what they're
That's the
trying to
problem with a
accomplish.
lot of games
Like $1 trillion
nowadays.
bucks.
It even goes back to the PS3 and the 360 era. Like they don't show you a lot of gameplay. All they do is they show you these
I think they show
cinematic
it later.
trailers, like it's a movie
Yeah.
and shit. No,
They
they
show
just
some more
take too
later.
long, dude. How long is this? 8 minutes?
We're only
They
gonna
could've
watch like
easily just
we're only gonna
shown-
watch like half of it. This is about almost about the point that I wanted to get to.
They could have easily shown us gameplay in like 3 or 4
I
minutes.
know. Do you mind if we skip the formalities this time? Got a big contract waiting down there, so.
Yeah, skip the formalities. Get to the gameplay, guys.
This is the writing that
Yeah.
this is the writing that they give us. This like
They
nonchalant,
thought it was compelling.
like Zoomer.
I
It's like
thought
we're gonna
it was
have this guy
compelling. I thought it
quoting.
was good.
I'm just gonna say the Bible. I don't know where, so I'm gonna have this guy quoting the Bible, and then we're gonna skip to this where it's like, "Come on, I got a mission to do."
Understood. Let's proceed with your grounding exercise. Are you familiar with
Good Zoomer kids, man.
That's my lucky
What do you do, fellow Zoomers?
Yeah. It's supposed to be my lucky charm.
It's fucking awful. I don't know.
So what's
who
the point of this shooter?
It's an extraction shooter like Tarkov, but they took out all the elements that make Tarkov interesting, so it's, Bungie slop for the modern audience.
Remember when Bungie was good?
Because, Tarkov is just, it's a cool game, but it's too hard. It makes a lot of people quit, so that's not cool. There was some guy talking about, like the systems and stuff. This is just more cinematic shit, who cares? Let's go to, see if we can find gameplay. I think they have gameplay somewhere. No, this isn't gameplay stuff. Hold on. Oh, maybe it's on their channel. Perhaps.
You would think, right?
Here we go. Alpha gameplay highlights.
You kind of feel the blood pumping.
Do a blood.
Got him, got him, got him.
Let's do this.
Down the ball again and again and again and again and
It's
again.
all
and again
fake.
and again.
Are you
This is
hyped?
all fake. This is all fake.
Are you hyped?
The artificial hype.
None of this is real.
This is a di-
We're all paid actors. Look, I'm having fun. I'm blasting.
Yeah, more AI
Sorry for the
inside
quality.
the little shrubbery compound everywhere.
There's very little that's compelling here. It just looks like Apex to me. Like, if you told me this was the new season of Apex, I'd be like, yeah. Looks like Apex.
Sorry. Excuse me, sorry.
You get. How you guys feeling about this? You hype?
Absolutely terrible.
Ah, bro, I'm bored. There's nothing happening. Like, what separates it from all the other like co-op team shooters and shit?
It's an extraction
Like, I
shooter.
know.
You know?
Nah,
Extract.
You're saying that, but what does that mean? Like, how is that any different
You're,
from all
you're
the
dro-
other shooters?
everyone's dropped in a
I'm gonna-
map, right? And then like a team of players would be like, they have to go do this. Let me mute this guy. You have to go do this objective, right? And it's like, okay, go do that objective, and then another team will have a different objective, like kill this team or like help this team or like some whatever the fuck. And like that's what it is. So it's like they don't want. Well, I don't want to shit on it because maybe Tarkov does a good job with this, but it just sounds so unappealing to me. Like this whole idea of like extraction shooter, because like what is the goal is not a unified goal. Like Team A doesn't want to kill Team B. Like this is just like random nonsense, and you pick up your loot from doing the mission good, and then you go and then you leave the map, and then people are still playing on it or some shit.
These games are unoriginal to me. There's just Fortnite, but with a first-person shooter spin. That's it. Like I'm over it. You guys need to move on. Fortnite won. You can't keep mimicking the formula. That's it.
bro,
Well,
it's so bad. It
I want to
makes
give
me
the
wanna
benefit
play.
to Tarkov and say that maybe Tarkov does this well. Like this
It's
type
so
of
bad,
game,
bro.
but
It just
I'm
makes
not
me want to play
interested.
the CCP superior game of Marvel Rivals with the waifu. If only just to Google,
Emma
bro,
Frost.
just to look at those thighs, look at all these beautiful women, look
Yeah,
at
that's a-
like
That's a good
Venom,
Gooner game,
Hank,
right? I
muscular
accept that.
suit,
Like
look at Thor. You see, I'm mentioning everybody, so I don't want anybody to get upset that I'm just gooning over the
Squirrel
women. Everybody
Girl.
looks amazing. Yeah, Squirrel Girl with her cute freckles.
Yeah,
Come
that's
on,
a good
man.
Gooner game. It's not a problem.
Like, look how far Bungie has gone, where we had the godlike Halo 2 multiplayer online, And now we have like these weird games where I don't even know what the purpose is.
The Doritos and Mountain Dew era. I miss it, bro.
Slayer.
I mean, this is true team deathmatch. You're never gonna see this again. It makes me really sad, actually.
This is like back in the days when you could say the cool words and not get in trouble for it.
The gamer words.
And they also had what was the proximity? What, talking? I think if you were close enough to the person, you could talk with them.
Maybe. I don't remember that.
No, it was in all the Halos.
I remember like in this game Halo 2, I play a lot of team SWAT, and basically it's just like team deathmatch but no respawns. Like everyone it's like kind of like a Counter-Strike where everyone respawns at the same time at the start. That shit was so fun.
Nah, man, this game, like,
It's
even still
classic.
to this day, Halo's ahead of its time. It's just forever. There's a lot of things that people are still trying to copy, and they can't do it.
No man, you gotta you gotta jump down on this planet, pick up random weapons, and then leave the game.
Sad.
It doesn't even make sense to me. It's like people are down there playing, and I gotta leave because my mission's complete. I don't get it. And then like you carry over your weapons and your gear to like the next game, so it's like you become super powerful, but try not to die or whatever. I don't even know how that's supposed to work in like a team aspect, because the game is a team-based game. Tarkov, I think, is just single player. So like if you're like in a team, like doesn't that kind of remove some of the friction element? Just because if you die, you still have two friends that can like protect your stuff, your gear. And like we already saw, like he was like reviving somebody in that trailer.
All right. Let's be honest now. How fast is this game gonna get canceled? Is it gonna be faster than Concord?
Oh shoot, faster than Concord.
I don't think so. I think this will generate some audience unless the gameplay is absolute slop and it gets. Oh man, it does not look good though. It's weird how good the cinematic looked,
Concord, bro.
And like this doesn't even look like even a fraction as good as the cinematic did. It's like, why would you even show the cinematic? Like, what are you doing? Just show the gameplay. Stop.
I've been saying that for over like 15 years, man.
I mean, it was nice in like the PS1 era. We had the OVAs or whatever. What do you call them? Is that what it's called?
Oh, I know what you're saying. Shoot, the FMVs.
FMVs.
Yeah, FMVs. Yeah,
that was cool. Look, man, he's getting the objective. Finding the vault.
Bro, you know what the aesthetic reminds me of? A lot of people will probably like remember this too. You remember that game by EA? Oh, what was it called? Mirror's Edge. There you go, Mirror's Edge.
Yes,
but worse. Mirror's Edge looks cool.
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool. A decent idea. The whole first-person platforming and everything.
We were actually talking about that the other day.
It's a good game.
I haven't played the sequel. Have you guys played the sequel? I haven't gotten a chance to play it though.
Yeah, I only played like 15 minutes of the first game. I haven't even really played it. I
played it.
I was like, this is really cool, and then I moved on to Demon Souls or whatever.
It's actually pretty good. I will go back and give it a try. It's not, if I remember correctly, it's not even that long too. You can complete it like less than 4 or 5 hours.
Well, this is like 2 hours over here. This video.
Oh, because he already knows what he's doing. Like there's certain parts where you have to like.
Right.
It's like a visual game. Like you have to pay attention to your surroundings and know how to like platform and maneuver certain areas, or you might get like a little bit stumped.
Yeah.
But it's not gonna like stump you like the meme of BioShock Infinite in the beginning with the whole how do you get inside the lighthouse with the card puzzle shit.
So you guys gonna buy Marathon?
No.
Absolutely not.
You're not gonna buy this? You're not gonna tell your friends to play it?
I would never pay $80 for this slop.
You mean 120?
Oh my god, with the terrorists, even worse. Nah, man.
Oh, man.
I keep saying, I remember when.
What is supposed to be exciting about this? This just looks like ass. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's not a problem. But like you said, like there's nothing exciting about it. But like even back then, like I remember the old first-person shooters, and like I felt like I was literally on the battlefield. You know, My dude's getting sniped. There's grenades being thrown everywhere. I have the choice to throw the grenade back. You know, I felt like I was out there in the desert, you know, doing the duty. And like now, like this futuristic warfare is just like it's all fantasy, you know.
I played a
It's
lot
the
of like
visual ecstasy, like I keep saying it.
I played a lot of like Apex, right? And like even with that game, I'm just like, I wish we just had normal team deathmatch, because it's like I'm fighting one team, right? And we're trying to take them down fast, because if you don't take them down fast, it's a problem. So we're trying
Another
to take
thing will
down the
come
other.
with what-
We're trying to take down the other team as fast as possible, right? And then as we're fighting them, another
Yeah.
team shows up, and they're just waiting for
Exactly, yeah.
us. And then we we kill the other team, and then we're trying to heal up, and then the other team's like, well, the third team is like, hey, here we are, we're here to kill
Here we
you
are.
now, and scoop up the victory. And it's just like this seems like this type of game is just emphasizing that even more, and I appreciate it more from like a one player, single player perspective. Like I assume Tarkov does. Like I don't think this formula works well as multiplayer, because it's just more of this Apex shit. And I guess people enjoy Apex, so what do I know? But it's just, to
Apex
me,
was fine in the beginning.
who cares?
It was not a bad game. You know, it's just that after a while, it's just like, all right, like, we can move on now.
I guess so.
You know, give me a good Battlefield. Give me a good
I guess I wouldn't care
Call
if
of
there was
Duty.
like good good multiplayer shooter games.
Yeah, like a basic one. Team deathmatch, ground war. That's it. You know, give me the basic modes. You guys are doing all this other stuff that doesn't matter.
All right, guys, let's not bury the lead anymore. The main topic. Would you like to take over, sir? Take the reins.
Oh my god. I mean, do video games really cause violent behavior? You know, I get enraged when I look at these games that are fucking terrible and they slap. I don't want to punch a wall. I don't want to take my screen and throw it across the room.
Or would you actually go outside and cause physical harm and rout someone?
No, I'm not gonna do that. That's terrible. Like, why would I? Why would I? And that's the issue, because like I guess we should really talk about is the Yahoo article and like the game, and then eventually segue. You know, yeah, you know, the devs behind, you know, this so-called controversial game that I don't even know if it even exists. You know, I keep asking everyone. I can't buy it anywhere. I'm not trying to buy it to play the game. You know, that's not the point here. Is I want to see the legitimacy of it. You know, they're saying that there's this game where you can perform some questionable
Questionable.
behavior. You know, I'm trying to be very careful here with what I'm saying, because I'm not trying to get us kicked
No,
off.
no. Let's just use the language. We'll see if we get banned for this video. Just say the things.
All right. Well, I mean,
Oh.
yeah, it's nothing more than a rape simulator. Let's be very honest with ourselves. You know.
You know what I'm thinking? Maybe Sigmund Freud was right.
What
Maybe
do you
deep
mean?
down, we all have a desire to no mercy our moms.
That guy.
Jesus
Listen,
Christ. Dr. Melfi, no.
listen. That dude was a schizo in himself. All right. He claimed that, you know, all these people had oral fixations, you know, because they had sucked on their thumbs and all this other stuff, you know. And you gotta understand, that dude was chilling in brothels the whole time, you know, doing behavioral study. You know, you can't take none
Are
of
you
that
telling me
finding serious.
he was the original no mercier?
He was a gooner.
He was
That guy was a gooner.
he was a modern. He was like a New York Times writer back in his day, like getting skewed data and presenting it as
Yeah,
fact.
excuse, come on, man. That guy was a gooner. Get out of here. You can't listen to that dude, man.
I
It's
like
all skewed data.
this allegation, but I don't know what the facts are, so I don't know.
I mean,
People look
listen.
into it on your own, I guess.
Listen, the facts are out there. Besides that, listen. Yes, a content warning. This article includes reference to rape, sexual assault, and incest. We need to be very careful here. You know, so the studio behind No Mercy recently released a 3D visual novel featuring non-consensual sex and incest, and has announced that it plans to remove the game entirely from Steam after the game attracted controversy online. Valve pulled the game from the United Kingdom's version of Steam after a government official slammed Valve for allowing No Mercy to be sold on the storefront. And that's my thing, because like, why would they even allow the game available to begin with? There is the ESRB rating. We'll talk about that a little bit along the lines. Like I said, there is an adult's rating, but for obvious reasons. There are certain retailers that won't carry a product that carries the adult rating label. They refuse to. You know, I don't know if you're only able to gain that through internet means. This is why I brought in my co-host here with me. He's a little bit more knowledgeable than me in terms of these hentai games. That's a more appropriate label. And this is nothing new, at least on the Japanese side. There's been a lot of older games. Back on the PC 98, the Sharp 6800, the FM Towns. They had a lot of these hentai style dojin games where you can engage in like these similar like activities like No Mercy, or you can have like your typical normal sexual quote unquote sexual experience through computer means, obviously, because these are all fucking computer games at the end of the day. Who's really fucking jerking off to this shit? You got to be some bugged out motherfucker.
Your dad
Like,
walks in the room. What are you doing, son? I'm having sex.
And I'll bring up a story like that because I remember as a child, my father was able to purchase these games for the Windows 98, and there were these PC games, and it was like a cyberpunk style game where you were in the future, and it had like an element where like you had to like save like these girls where they were being raped by like the tentacle monsters, and like you can do your own thing with them, and you can purchase drugs, and like it was a lot of weird adult themes, so like these games have always existed, like this level of controversy. Some people put a blind eye to it, some people look at it and they're just like, oh no, this is problematic. I guess now because of the time period, and especially our current political environment, everything that's going on, especially the people that took the reins to get this game taken down. I mean, we'll see it as we'll go down the article and everything. But do you want to add anything else before I go on, Jose? I apologize.
I'm ready, man. It's gonna be like one of my Japanese anime. Let's do it.
I just want to say, I think I had the video off for the whole time we were watching those other video games for the first 20 minutes.
Oh, are you serious?
So it's just gonna be just audio. I guess I'll overlay something in my video editor later. But I just wanted to mention that. I'm sorry.
The audience will just have to imagine
Oh,
this.
that's beautiful.
Imagine,
And then when they see it,
imagine it.
and when they get to this part, it's gonna be even more funny. All right, so No Mercy was released on March 22nd on PC via Valve's super popular digital gaming storefront Steam. The game is described by the developers as a 3D choice-driven adult visual novel with a huge focus on incest and male domination. In the game, players discover that their mother has cheated on their dad, and they are then told to claim her for yourself.
Jesus.
Good lord.
You see, it all goes back full circle, bro. You gotta assert male dominance. Say, nah, mom.
Jose, please, Jesus Christ, holy
You
shit.
gotta say, mom, I can't let you leave. We
You're
gotta
the
keep
man-
the family
You're
together.
the man of the house now. That's a
I'm
whole
the
new
man of the
meaning.
house now. I gotta pull myself up by my bootstraps and take over for dad.
Holy shit. I mean, that's absolutely fucking insane. We're trying to be.
God.
I mean, yes, we're the shits and giggles here. We're trying to be adults about the situation, but I mean, it is kind of bugged that they said it like, yeah, this is a game about male domination. Who are the people that are really purchasing this product at the end of the day?
It's like, mom, I expect you to pick me up from college and immediately go to Red Lobster for dinner.
Oh, shit. No, that's yo. Yeah. Many people online weren't happy that Valve would allow No Mercy to be sold. Because I that other part I can't even read all that. I'm just gonna move on.
No,
I'm
read
not
it.
gonna
You gotta
read it.
read. What is
All
it?
right. This leads to multiple scenes involving the player forcing women, including their character's own mother, to have sex with them. The game's description on Steam includes this line: "Unveil her deepest secrets, subdue her, and make all women yours." Many people online weren't happy that Valve would allow No Mercy to be sold on Steam. An online petition demanding the game be removed reached over 10,000 signatures on change.org. On April 9th, as spotted by GameIndustries.biz, UK Technology Secretary Peter Kyle said that No Mercy was deeply worrying in comments that made on British talk radio station LBC. He further explained that he expects every tech company...
worrying every
It's
tech company
deeply
to
worrying,
remove
bruv.
content as soon as they possibly
Bruv.
can after being made aware of it.
A bunch of Will Ospreys pissed off.
I just pissed off
It's pretty
everyone in
cringe,
Leeds.
ain't it? You what, mate? You telling me you want to shag your mom, mate? You want to get in her
Oh,
knickers?
Lord.
That's pretty cringe, ain't it?
He further
Um,
explained that he expects every tech company to remove content as soon as they possibly can after being made aware of it. That's what the Online Safety Act requires. It is what I require as a Secretary of State, and it's certainly how we expect platforms to operate and have the privilege of access to British society and British economy to do. No Mercy labeled as adults only. Also, it does carry the adults only label. That is interesting. Finally, all right, we'll get to that eventually. Because like I said, it's not available in certain markets, but it's available on the online market. So that's an interesting distinction. You know, adults only and can be only bought using a credit card. The game is not rated by ESRB or PEGI. Oh, it's
I
not rated at all. So they
I
just gave. So Valve just gave it a rating.
No, no, no,
Oh, they
no.
might have a court case.
It's
I
labeled
mean,
as adults only, but it has no official rating by the ESRB or PEGI.
Which means that Valve gave it its own rating.
I don't think so.
how else would you pay for it if not with a credit card online? Like what?
Yeah, which is that's why he's
I'll use my
explaining that
Counter-Strike
in the
points.
article. Because the idea is that Valve, as the platform, allowed you to purchase this game. They had their own rating for this game, adults only. It's not recognized by the ESRB or by PEGI. All right, and they're saying if Valve doesn't require their games to be rated by any of these groups to be sold on Steam, you know.
Kind of based.
The following Cal's statements and increasing pressure online. No Mercy was removed from the UK as well as Australia and Canada, presumably by Valve. Is it still available on America? Can you look it up right now as
Well,
I continue to read the article?
I found Postal 2.
Postal 2 was based, but I'm not going to front. My father bought me that game.
I don't see it here.
So it has been
It
removed
could
from
be
American
that I'm
market.
not logged in, so I'll try to log in. Keep going.
Yeah, sure, that's fine. Kotaku has reached out to Valve for more information on April 10th. Following all of this, the game being removed from some countries. And Zerad Games. Sorry about that. I apologize. I seem to have lost myself. Yes, Zerad Games, the developers behind No Mercy, posted a lengthy response to the controversy on Steam, addressing calls for the game's delisting. In a statement, the studio confirmed it was removing No Mercy from Steam, but nonetheless defended the game, stating that the real incest is disgusting, but that things like rape and male domination are nonetheless popular kinks for many. Oh, good lord. And I understand that, yes, and in the sexual degenerate world, there are people that do like to do rape play, as they
Well,
say, to do bondage play, a little bit of BDSM, a little leather play, a little whip in there.
well,
Have you ever tied up your girlfriend, Japanese style? They call it harajuku, if I'm correct.
if you
When
go
you
to a
tie her up in a
bookstore,
manner,
if you
hold
go
your
to a
little.
if you go to a bookstore and you go to the romance section and you find the section for women, it's mainly going to be a lot of the domination and other stuff.
You mean the books with all the chads on the posters
Yeah, the Chad
dominating all
werewolves.
those women? Yeah. And all the women wish that they were getting dominated by Chad and all these romantic fantasies. Yeah, I see them all the time.
But you know what's
Hovering over
crazy?
that section of
Look how
Barnes and
many
Noble.
entries Game of Thrones has on Steam. No issue, which is a narrative that has a lot of incest and rape and shit.
Oh no, it's called Hojo Jutsu. I'm sorry, that's what it's called. I apologize. It's the practice of judo using bondage. Is how they would tie up the criminals and everything else, and then it went to the sexual world. So
That's a
that's why I
good
said
point that you bring up, but
yeah.
the moment somebody wants to assert dominance over their mom, everyone loses their minds.
No, we're not. My God.
Look at this.
Sometimes you just have to show her how much of a
this.
big boy you are.
They got Daenerys Targaryen in this game, and she bangs her nephew.
Oh,
Yeah.
good lord.
It's perfectly fine on Steam. I mean, I'm being a little hyperbolic, but it's obviously a more complicated conversation.
I mean, like I said, these games are.
This game is specifically just sex, so it's a whole different thing.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing, and please keep in mind that a lot of these older games that were featuring these themes, they weren't as what can I say, visually appealing. You know, they were 8 bits, 16 bits. Now it's like full on 3D. So the fact that we have this type of simulation, it can be problematic. It gives people the wrong idea. I completely agree with that. You know, but let's not pretend like this shit wasn't out there before. Like the games, like, can you educate us a little bit, Jose, about the games that
Well,
you are aware of, these hentai style games?
hold on. So it's not. I don't see it on Steam here, but what does pop up is Warhammer 40K. So maybe that's
Stop it. Stop it.
maybe that's what Steam wants me to get instead.
Stop it. I mean, what else did they say? Yeah, after reading our
What were you asking,
statement,
Jose?
I mean, the only other
There we go.
game I might be a very, very old boomer at this point that I could think of that started a little bit of controversy came out, I want to say in 2013, 2014. I think it was like a German game where you listen, YouTube. Please let the record reflect. This is for research purposes only. All right. I'm not in any way endorsing or telling people to look for this. I just want to put that out there.
no, of course not.
For research purposes, educational purposes, whatever. But yeah, it was a game where you play as a dude that goes and romances little girls. And when I mean little girls,
Oh, good lord.
I don't mean high schoolers.
Where's
I
my
don't even mean middle schoolers.
Where's my wood chipper sound?
But it was very controversial. And if you were in the know, you would know that this game was spread all throughout the Chan boards. It was spread all throughout the internet secretly. You know, if I remember correctly, they even made specific scenes with sexual like tones and
All right,
stuff.
I think people get the picture.
No,
Yeah.
and it's messed up because
That was like one of the last games that I could think of that had like a lot of controversy though.
Shit.
he's not wrong. Like I said, a lot of those games always existed. That they've been done a lot of homemade style games. With like these amateur developers. Like a lot of the background. Like
Yeah.
with amongst certain circles. They're trading certain things.
The
So
300-year-old vampires.
yeah, and stuff like that. Yeah. So like yeah, like I get some of the stuff is problematic. Like I completely agree. It is fucking disgusting. But if we look at some of these other video game controversies over here at the NCAC, you were looking at it, so as you pulled it up, we're gonna go through here, these different video game controversies. Let's not play ourselves in front like this is anything new. Because even back in the 70s, they were trying to goon to 8-bit. So, let's skip a little
Remember
bit.
good old Custer's Revenge Bros?
Oh yeah, we're gonna go there. Yeah. So the first arcade video game released 1971. First home video game Magnavox Odyssey is released
You
1972.
didn't even say what it was.
What, the first arcade video game?
Oh,
Nutting and
oh,
early
oh, oh.
arcade.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a sex game called Nutting.
No. No, that was the name of the arcade manufacturer. Yeah,
Okay,
it was producing the Space
Gotcha.
Machines. Yeah. That's why I didn't want to. I mean, oof, yeah, that went over my head. I apologize. Yeah, but now let's talk about the action. Like, this is a weird one too, and you should look this up. The first controversial video game, Death Race, being pulled off store shelves. The objective of the lo-fi black and white game that looks like a slightly more advanced version of Pong is to earn points by running over as many gremlins as possible with a given time frame. According to video game historian Steve L. Kent, what got everyone upset about Death Race was that you heard this little when a person got hit, and a little gravestone pop came up. Due to public outcry, Death Race manufacturer takes the game off the market. And like, you could look up the game now. Like it was terrible. Yeah, this is the game right here.
We
This
can't
is what
allow
people
this.
were crying about.
We can't allow this.
We can't allow this game right here. This is too controversial, bro. It needs to be banned.
Uh-oh.
Banned.
He's gonna get him. He's gonna get him.
Oh no,
You get
bro!
him? Bro.
Going at 10
What is
miles
he-
per hour, about to run them over.
Is the
Uh-oh,
objective to
bros.
run people over?
Yes, that's it. It's called Death Race. That's it.
Oh no. It's a simulation that lets you run people over.
I understand for the time period it was controversial. I
Almost
mean,
got
like,
him.
what
Oh,
type of
get him!
objective is
Oh,
that? You know,
oh shit! It turned him into a stick. Oh shit!
a gravestone. It's supposed to be a
Wait, hold
gravestone.
on. I gotta see if it plays the sound when it gets. Oh Jesus!
You can hear the muffled pitch scream.
Yeah, pretty fucked
Jesus
up.
Oh my
Christ!
goodness.
And they were pissed off in
This
'76.
is like cave drawings of like GTA.
Yeah, cave drawings in Grand Theft Auto 6.
Oh shit! This is gonna inspire people to do this in real life. You can't have it.
See, even back then, my dad still wouldn't get me this game along with GTA 3.
Hold on.
I really like the arcade flyer. If you get a chance to look it up, that's
Oh,
another thing that
the
people were
image.
angry
Yeah,
about. Yeah,
I just
yeah,
went.
that was
I
really,
went to go
that was
pull it
really
up.
cool. Really cool. I really like it a lot.
Damn it! Can
So
I
yeah,
just
when
get the
people
image? There we go.
yeah when people saw this, they were pissed. They're like, "Oh, this
Death
game is
Race.
problematic."
Bro, that's
Fascinating
crazy.
fun. It's fun chasing monsters. Oh, chasing monsters.
The artwork actually reminds me, I don't want to get off topic, of like the old snuff films, like Faces of Death of the 70s and stuff. It's crazy.
And that's what they were trying to capture. And I don't want to go too far off on this. Another good thing to talk about too, the whole satanic panic aspect that was happening around that time period, especially with like the introduction of drugs. You know, or what was it? What the whole flower power era? You know, all the kids on college on campuses taking LSD, all these different drugs. You know, what was it? Woodstock '69.
That's a
You
bugged
know,
out cabinet, man. Look at that.
a lot of people tend to forget, what was going on around this time period. Like and this is like the whole conspiracy side. They claim that when the psychedelic drugs were being introduced, that apparently this is in quotation marks. Apparently, so with the whoever's listen, this is all alleged. There were sleeper agents being put out. And this is like the introduction of like the serial killers, but they were always serial killers. But this is when they started getting popularized because around the same time there were the slasher films were also coming out. So there's like this weird connection to it. But like this is all like shit that people squeeze into the grapevine, So who the fuck really knows? Let's be honest. But not yet. Let's go back here. We have Custer's Revenge. Protested. In the game's persona of General Custer, the player runs from enemies' arrows towards a Native American woman strapped to a pole.
I don't even know if we could
Once
show
there,
this.
Custer. Oh, we can't. Custer would get it on with, or according to many critics, rape the woman for points. 250 protesters gathered at the spot where the public is viewing the game for the first time and never finds much success. Yeah, if you actually look up this game, bro, like
We're getting banned for this video. We're getting banned.
It's okay. Just put it for educational purposes.
you guys said, this was 1983. This was for the Atari. They were like honestly, they were trying to make adult games. Like this is
for the OG
to me, this is
boomer gooners.
this is comical to me. Like even the artwork for the box, it's comical. I mean, I don't know if you want to show it or
No,
not,
I
man, but
closed it. I closed it. I'm not looking up
You
anything
can't?
else.
you can't do it. You can't even show. Oof. Yeah, and they wanted to do Custer's Revenge Part 2.
For N64.
Yeah, for Nintendo 64.
64. Oh my god, you imagine that? And he gets put in Smash Brothers, the first one.
No.
Certified Kino classic.
All right, we'll move on now. 1993, Night Trap banned Mortal Kombat scrutinized by Congress. The Sega CD version of Night Trap is removed from the store shelves at Toys R Us and FOA Shorts locations in the United States in direct response to a December 9th, 1993 Joint Senate Judiciary and Government Affairs Committee hearing on video game violence. Night Trap is cited as shameful, ultra-violent, sick, and disgusting, encouraging an effort to trap and kill women. In particular, in scene which the character, Lisa, is wearing a nightgown while captured by augurs attempting to drain her blood is found to be very offensive. Given the circumstances in which she is attacked, scantily clad in a private bathroom, the game's goal is not to trap or kill women, but to save them from harm. And that's why I kind of posted up that video. We could go over there. I should look at that video real quick, and then we'll come back to this. That I showed you on YouTube, the whole Congress. I mean, we could watch this too. Do video games cause violent behavior? Let's watch this real quick. This is 1982. Even back in 82, they was trying to ask this video game caused violent behavior. And this was a year after Custer's Revenge was released. You know, they protested this, and now look what's happening.
The 80s, man. Beautiful music.
And mind you, look at all these graphics here.
To
Oh, look at this guy here. Look at this
basically
idiot.
become a society of warriors.
Not
we're
chill
thinking
back
it's
then
very
with a
harmful.
hairline like that. You still wouldn't get made fun of.
You're gonna get made fun of? You were still getting that money, huh?
Exactly.
To our society and our
Still
society's
doing
future.
all that blow off of women's butt cheeks.
I'm trying
you
not to play
doing?
the music.
Bro, it's free use. Fair use.
Being in control, and that's
doesn't
something
care.
that many young children, in fact many adults for that matter, have little opportunity to feel these days.
Jesus Christ, our audience is gonna look at us like we're idiots because my production guy doesn't
affected by
understand.
this brave new universe of
blame
electronic
Scott
fun and
Osborne.
games. Are they reduced to violent behavior after Titanic struggles on the screen? Or do they take out their normal aggressions harmlessly, perhaps learning new skills in the process?
What drugs do you think they're
It's a
doing?
question that hasn't really been explored very
Blood,
deeply,
see?
despite the video game invasion that's captured our pop
High
culture.
fructose corn syrup.
Groups
Oh,
such
that's
as
the
the
worst one
National
of all.
Coalition on Television
We
Violence
still
are
haven't recovered
concerned.
from those
Most
effects.
recently, we found that 89%
I don't know what's going on,
of the
but
video games and video
I hit
arcades
next.
Well, yo, why is
based
Boogie
on
Fucking
Boogie.
Boogie, and that 65% of the video cassettes sold for home
Like,
video
where's
games
Boogie coming
are
up
based
from?
upon a violent theme.
But Mitchell Robin, who teaches computer programming and child psychology in New York, surveys the electronic gamescape and sees no problem.
If they can use the game as a way of handling that aggression, handling that frustration when they need to, in what I hope would be a socially acceptable manner, then there's no need to then act out violently in the real world.
And I want to pause that really quick.
Do you agree
And-
with this statement?
Because the main thing he's pointing out is the puzzle solving aspect and like eventually how you can use those tools in life. You know, being able to think outside the box. And this is one thing that I'm constantly
I don't think
pointing
that's
out with
anything that
games
he
today.
said.
Really? What did he say? You said taking control of your anger, right?
Yeah, your anger.
Yeah, you're taking control of your anger and
What's that got to
using
do
that
with puzzle
aggression for
solving?
something else. Yeah, using it for... You playing a game. What are you doing in the game half the time? You're puzzle solving.
I mean, they're not wrong. Wasn't there a study or something back then? Let me know if I'm wrong, where people were playing like flight simulators and stuff, and they helped them develop better skills to actually, like, be in a plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Military
like,
purposes, yeah, they were always doing that. No, that's true.
yeah, exactly. So I can see it. It's just like you get good with reflexes and simulating the same things over and over again. It also does help to like take out your stress and frustration. Now, some people take it too far and they start biting cables and slamming controllers and stuff. But
Well, I think specifically it's talking about violent acts within the game that is being are these violent acts being reflected by the person playing them in the real world, like sort of like the vampire bites you and now you become a vampire. Like if you play the violent game, do you become violent? I think this is the main
But would
thing.
you actually go out there and bite random women?
What,
you thought it was
does
cool?
little Timmy think he's a vampire? You know, is that what you're telling me? Little Timmy, he thinks he's a character in the game in real
Does
life?
he want to go outside and bash people over the head with a baseball bat after he plays Smash Bros? He picks Ness.
How many? Yeah. How many
Maybe,
Marios are
but
created?
this is something we talked about the other day. It's like a lot of this boils down to parenting.
Yes.
If you're not parenting your kids, then everything is on the table, right? It doesn't. I don't think it even matters what the influence is. Like if it's a game or a book or a TV show or a cartoon, he's watching Bugs Bunny like beat up Elmer Fudd. Like it just comes down to parenting. Like
No,
what
you're
else?
right, 'cause
What
it's
else
all-
is there?
It's up to the parent to teach your child what's right and wrong, what's real, and what's a fantasy. Because if you just leave your kid alone and then they just play video games and watch all these violent movies and TV shows or whatever, they're gonna grow up thinking like it's socially acceptable because they're already seeing it, they're exposed to it. But it's like you said, it's up to the parents to put like a barrier between them and tell them like, look, this is just a game, this is a movie, or this is a show. You could either like tell them you're not old enough. I gotta explain it to you. It's too violent. Blah blah blah. Or if they're a little bit older, you could try to like explain to them like, I'm gonna You can play the game, you can watch the movie, you know, but just remember it's all fake. It's not real. You know, you're not gonna be like Arnold in Commando going around like shooting people and not getting hit or killed around it. You're not gonna be all these people like the vampire villains biting people in Night Trap or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna be a Mortal Kombat character like doing uppercuts and finishers and all this other stuff. Like so you have to instill this stuff into your child's head ahead of time when they're young, because children are very young and impressionable. So anything that goes unsupervised, you know, it could go into their heads, and a lot, and that's the fear that they had back then, and I feel like it's gonna get even worse as time goes on, as parents they want to go and have like the TV and the tablets, you know, basically
the
teach their kids and
the
babysit them.
iPad flicking child becomes a parent at some point, and then
Yeah, basically.
But that's already the reality now. Look at the kids now mimicking their parents. What are the parents doing? They're on the phones all the time. What do they buy their kids? They buy their kids the iPads. The kids are doing the same thing that the parents are doing. But what if they really actually parenting? You know, they're not watching what the kids are watching on YouTube. You know, when will go to YouTube Kids, there's people that figured out a way to go through it and actually still put violent material on the YouTube Kids stuff.
there's a lot of weird stuff on the YouTube Kids.
Yeah, a lot of it is, and a lot of it is all
Spider-Man
jump
and
scares.
Hulk humping each other and like.
Yeah,
And
people
then they
don't even
start
notice this stuff.
Kissing a watermelon or who knows God what, I don't even know. And then there's one was where they have like dinosaurs, I think like Barney, and then like the Hulk again, and then like the bad man from WW2 comes in. And there's like a lot of weird stuff on YouTube created by our good friends over in South Asia.
Hey, man. So like, yeah, even in '82, they were asking, you know, this game caused violent behavior. Like, look at the other one. Back even what was it? I think in '94 was the other video. You'll see it.
Are we done with this one?
Says
Yeah, we're
it's
done with
willing to
this one, I was
consider
saying.
proposals for studying the effects of video games. But until studies are made, parents can only speculate.
Violence may occur, but it kind of bothers me that my son, unless I
Look at that
drag him away from
absolute
the
unit in the
TV,
back with the black
is there
shirt.
playing it all day long.
Oh my God!
It's like a fantasy. It's a toy. And
And
it's
you should
not,
be
it's just
interviewing him and
make-believe.
telling him what's his workout routine.
This is
Watching this one now?
1995. Yeah.
The youngest. Kelly Mack takes a look at the controversy. I really get a kick out of some of the stuff.
Sucks you right in.
Oh
Sucks you
snap!
right in.
These
And they
electronic
claim that video games
are
weren't
incredibly
diverse.
popular. Millions of people use them either
Always
at
have
home
been.
or at
Always been
arcades.
diverse, baby. Don't
It's
you
a
forget.
$10 billion industry in the
We don't
United
have a full
States
soundboard
alone,
yet.
and that industry is projected to grow by 100% in the next 5 years.
Real painful.
Commercials for the newest electronic video games are flooding the airwaves. This one advertises Sega Saturn. Sega is specifically marketing its line beyond
This is
male
back when
teenagers.
Sega had a lot of fucking unique and good commercials, man.
Yeah.
Like before Sony was doing all the weird magazine advertisements and stuff with the PS2 onward, Sega was already ahead of the curve doing that in the 90s.
Yeah, they were being super aggressive with the marketing, and mind you, they were global. They were all over Brazil. They were all over Europe. They were all over America. They were selling systems on every system. They were selling Sega Saturns, Game Gears, what was it? The Sega Genesis. That's what killed Sega. They spread themselves too thin. You know, nobody knew what to buy.
We currently dominate the ranks of game devotees.
Toward an older, more sophisticated consumer, we're giving kids room to realize their aspirations.
But what aspirations are we talking about?
He's holding the hammer,
Brian
holding the
Stone
gun.
of Pomona College says research is clear. People, particularly children, are made more aggressive by playing violent video games.
All right, but is that the game being shitty and unfun, where it's like, this is frustrating?
This is 1995, ladies and gentlemen.
I become irrationally angry, and I could be playing like some like solitaire, like, oh, this fucking bullshit, you know? Like, if a game is unfair, you know, it has nothing to do with the content
but
of the
I don't
game.
think you turn into Gambit and start throwing cards at people in a violent manner. You know?
Come on, mon ami.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be like Magneto and then trying to do my ROM Infinite. Yeah, no, I get it.
Games where
I'd actually be impressed if you could do that in real life. Just try jumping on people.
If anything, like, the movie Fight Club has created more violent kids in my middle school than anything else.
Yeah. Even that movie had problems when it first came out.
And that's like such a small part of the movie too. Like the actual fighting in there.
Prod the player to decapitate the opponent.
When you're watching a TV show, you're a witness to an act of violence. When you play one of these games, you are the murderer. You have your hand on the trigger.
Correct.
Yeah, but what if it's a really immersive TV show and I inject myself into Walter White's shoes?
So now you're cooking meth.
I am the danger.
You know. But that's the idea, that you become a part of the character. That's the idea of immersing yourself, you know. So I get the aspect of how it could create a violent behavior for people that are, it's fucked up to say, that very weak-minded, you know. They get caught up in the fantasy aspect, you know. They want to have the whole katana lifestyle, you know, start wearing the kimonos and shit. Like those
behind you, nothing personal.
Yeah, nothing personal, kid. Yeah.
But when I was very young watching like Dragon Ball Z, I would get super hyped up, dude. Like I would be like jumping off the couch. I'd be doing like the charging, like I'm gonna turn Super Saiyan. Like that one, what's that video of the kid on YouTube where he's trying to go Super Saiyan on the camera, on the webcam? That was me, bro. I was trying to go Super Saiyan.
Nah, man, I remember Alex Jones going Super Saiyan. That's me.
And I'd start punching the air and shit, and then my family's like, "Oh, you need to stop." It's like you can't watch.
You know what that reminds me of? Hold on, it reminds me of the two dudes fighting in the parking lot with keyblades, trying to simulate the Sora versus Roxas fight. Hold on, let me pull that up real quick.
Yeah, you need to pull that up. That's a good one. Yeah.
But like,
yeah,
this is a cartoon show, and I'm getting like aggressively pumped up from it, you know. And like that's, I guess from my perspective, at a young age, I was trying to get some of that puberty rage out. You know, when you hit puberty, you become like some weird animal in your house. Like you become like a rabid wolf.
Nah, yeah, like it's.
Alright, I found
you start humping. You start humping the ceiling and shit. You know.
2, 1.
Oh, this is Kino.
Sora. Roxas. What'd you do?
Oh no! Oh no! Play it! No, just let it play. What are you doing?
This is 8 seconds, and I got goosebumps.
8 seconds.
I can't. Oh.
She's part of the darkness.
Absolute
now.
cinema.
She doesn't need the light. You're a nobody.
He's doing the sounds and everything too.
Where are your friends now? I don't need any friends. I'm part
Can
of
you
the
guys
darkness.
move? I need to get my car.
You're a nobody. Here.
I love it.
Yo, look how much they practice it. Is well choreographed.
10 out of 10. We'll watch it.
The video is just called Kingdom Hearts Original.
I'm telling you, bro, it gets even better. Keep going.
Fighting with umbrellas?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
You're over,
He almost
Sora.
lost his life.
No. Hi. Ha.
He got the goth.
He's doing the sounds. He's doing the sounds.
When girls see the goth pants, you know, they just slide along the floor.
Oh my.
Oh shoot.
They just go sliding, dude, with the goth pants. Oh shit.
Don't hit the camera, man.
Dual wheel.
I told you.
What did he say? Watch out with the camera, man.
Don't hit the camera.
Don't hit the camera, man.
This is good stuff. This is good. Is this fantasy roleplay problematic? Are these
Tonight
kids
at
being
11 is
violent?
Kingdom Hearts making the youth violent. This reenactment shows two young teens at a Los Angeles mall fighting.
Are these two kids violent, man? Holy shit! Like,
We asked some of the passerbys what they thought about the whole situation. These violent games.
Yeah, I saw that one guy sliding down that whole mountain of snow. He looked so cool doing it with his umbrella, but he almost broke that one kid's camera.
The guy with the camera just seemed annoyed the whole time.
He just seemed annoyed.
Right in his ass.
I can't kill
Bro.
you. You're part of me.
Yo, the man screeched to the high heavens. It wasn't even embarrassed, bro. That's how. Look, they choreographed it. They practiced it. They weren't even embarrassed. They gave no fucks, bro. They were just having a good time. Oh shoot!
This absolute cinema.
You're a fool, Sora.
Puts his hoodie on and walks away.
There goes my hero. Watch him as he goes.
That's good.
Where do we go off? This is such a weird tangent.
No, you gotta go back to the other video.
If you just click through this video, it's like rape, click, 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 click. You're part of me, Sora.
Oh.
Why can't we ever have a serious discussion?
No, we'll get back to it. Don't worry. That was good. We needed that. I'm not going for Jose. That was a good one.
I told you it's a certified classic.
That was a good one. That was a legit classic.
All right, let's continue. Let's we're an hour in. Let's continue with the.
Yeah, we gotta watch the Senator video. I apologize.
Do we need to get through all this? This is a lot.
Yeah,
We're not gonna get through all
I'll do a quick synopsis. That's why. Just let's look at the quick Senator video so I can speed things up.
This one?
Yeah, so you're gonna go to 1535.
Your Honor, Exhibit A.
Removed. But those games are only two examples. Let me tell you about another video game called Lethal Enforcers. It comes with a special piece of hardware, an oversized handgun called the Justifier.
Ooh, the Justifier.
And what does this game seem to teach our kids? Basically, that a gun can...
He's holding a $200 gun.
You don't have to tell me, bro. When I try to get the guns to play like Time Crisis and all those other Dreamcast games too,
they're all mad rare. They're mad expensive.
My heart sank, bro, when I saw those prices.
That's why I'm so happy I kept all of them. Like, I'm so happy I kept all of them. It's bugged out how expensive they are. And even now, because you could do the mods, so you can make them work on PC. Like, it's... Yeah, I'm happy I kept them shits. Yeah, that's a $200. I apologize, guys. It's just oof.
Just use a Wiimote.
No, even those are getting rare. Like, it's getting to the point. Like, it's getting rough now with all these scalpers. It's getting really rough.
Solve any problem. With Lethal Enforcers, sometimes the player hits innocent bystanders. In that case, blood splatters to the ground. But what the heck? Bystanders need to learn to get out of the way. Make no mistake about it, Lethal Enforcers is aimed at young kids. Just look at the ad. The warning label is almost entirely obscured, but enormous guns dominate the package. The ad features more than 20 guns in all, and the lead of the ad says, "You won't find a toy like this in any Cracker Jack box."
He's right.
Well, I hope...
Well, this is factually correct, sir.
You only find this at Toys R Us, Walmart, Target. Nobody eats the
What a cynical, irresponsible way to market a product. I find this glorification of kids and guns to be highly offensive. It comes on the heels of our long battle to enact the Brady Bill. And less than a month after Senator Lieberman and I passed a bill to take handguns away from minors. At the very least, this game sends a tremendously reckless message and turns any effort to discourage youth violence completely on its head.
Yeah, you can pause this really quick. Yeah, so Joe Lieberman was like the... No, you don't want to leave the video because I got like 2 more spots. But like Joe Lieberman was like the main one that was heading all this, and they were trying to put a ban on video games. And there was another person by the name of Ronnie Lamb, and she was on the Phil Donahue show. And I couldn't find the video itself, but she was also pushing to put a ban on video games around this time period. There was a lot of parents, and there was the sentiment that was slowly growing that a lot of the kids were spending too much time playing video games. They felt that some of the crime that was happening in certain areas had a correlation with the games, and like some of these government officials saw it as an opportunity, as to push the narrative, and you see some of these psychologists that came up with these studies, and then some of it had claims, some of it didn't, a lot of it was all fucking baseless, to be quite honest, because I mean, we've looked at the material itself, I mean, from a creative standpoint, how can these fucking 8-bit material make you violent? Let's be real honest now. You can go to 2315 really quick. Just wanted to let that out there real quick. Let the people know as we go through this quick video as they fill up with the bullshit. Yeah, 2315.
Senator Colwell, Mortal Kombat. The first is the Sega version.
Imagine they start playing again all at the start. Whoopsie.
Second, regrettably, is a very brief but nonetheless illustrative sequence from the Nintendo version. Go ahead.
So his claim is
a lot of you to see, but there's blood splattering every time.
Kato wins.
Yeah, and it's so weird because within certain like hardcore spheres. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I don't promote any of this dark web stuff, but like there was people already trading dark web like material, within tapes. I've heard many stories of like certain places that that sold VHSs that you can get certain questionable material in the back.
Faces of Death.
Yeah, Faces of Death, Faces of Death, stuff like that. But like even stuff that people claim that was legitimate, quote unquote, So like it's weird, like they were trying to put stops at shit like this, but like that question of material that even still being circulated today, that's not really a problem. So it's just weird to me. Like well, what's allowed and what isn't. Maybe I don't have a claim of what I'm saying. Oh, you could go to 2451 really quick.
Where do we draw the line so Timmy doesn't go around doing the scorpion finisher?
And that's why they made the finishers so hard to begin with, Ed Boon and John Tobias, because they didn't want kids to be able to perform them. They wanted them to figure out the different button combinations. It's like an Easter egg in itself, but it also creates like that horror element. It's like, oh my god, I don't think I was supposed to figure that out.
Death sequences, and in fact, instead of red blood spurting out, there's some other liquid, but it doesn't look like blood. Now we'll go to the night trap sequence.
Man, it sounds so miserable. Like he doesn't even want to be there.
Uh-oh. Night trap. This is Jose's favorite. Casino.
What the hell is this?
Me in the shower gooning.
I've never seen this before. Is this the original
No Mercy.
No Mercy.
The original No Mercy.
Well, the objective of this game
Mom,
is that
is
you
that
have to
you?
save the girls.
This isn't gonna work. You're not hearing me. Wait. What are you doing now?
I love how they waddle around. Man pulled out the No Mercy machine.
Takeshi's Castle coming to the United States.
Oh, good lord, no.
I don't even know if we can have this amount of screaming on YouTube.
Well,
this
the point
platform's
is
weird,
that-
man.
No, yeah, but the point is like, yeah, they were bitching about this stuff. This is when Sega was pushing a lot of the FMV products, and this is actually what killed a lot of the FMV games. This hearing right here, and they decided not to go any forward because they were scared to actually. The ideas was to use FMV to push more adult-oriented games, because you had actually actors, so they could do like more violent stuff. Like in Japan, they were still
You
doing
are
it,
almost
but
a
not,
Jill sandwich.
yeah, not over here in America. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So yeah, that was actually what was that? I believe that was 1993. You know, when that was happening. You know, when they
No,
had
it says
these
3 years
court
ago,
hearings.
dude. What are you talking about?
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. And because of that, you know, in 1994, the Entertainment Sophomore Rating Board was created, also known as the ESRB, a self-regulatory organization that assigns age and content ratings to video games, is established by the Entertainment Software Association, formerly Interactive Digital Software Association. The rating system is strictly voluntary. However, nearly all the video games are submitted for rating because many retail stores prohibits the sale of unrated video games, and the major console manufacturers will not license games for their systems unless they carry a ESRB ratings. The formation of the ESRB deflects the potential government regulation of video games. And you gotta remember, at one point, Sega themselves were regulating their own games. So a lot of people don't remember that when they had the Sega seal of approval, and Super Nintendo had something similar.
Yeah.
And this is before the ESRB got involved. Phantasmagoria is banned in
But are we
some
gonna go through
stores.
this whole list? Because this is quite.
No. Let me get to this, 'cause we have to talk about this first video game lawsuit. This is the main important one. Anti-video game activist and attorney Jack Thompson files for the first of what are to be a large numbers of lawsuits claiming video games are responsible for violence perpetrated by teens. The lawsuit is filed on behalf of the parents of 3 children killed in the Heath High School shooting in 1997. Investigators show that the perpetrator had regularly played various computer games, including Doom, Quake, Castle Wolfenstein, Redneck Rampage, Nightmare Creatures, Mech Warrior, Resident Evil. Those are
Nightmare
all
Creatures
classics right there.
based.
Those are all fucking classics. Yeah, I'm a little concerned now. Am I a shooter? Access some pornographic websites and own a videotape of the basketball diaries. Holy shit. Which includes a high school student dreaming about shooting his teacher and some classmates. The suit alleges that the producers of the game, the movie, and the
Can I pause
operators of
you
the internet
for a sec?
sites. What? Tell me.
It's funny how like they list all these video games. Like what teenager on there? Like what teenager doesn't have access to games that are equally like violent these days, and access some pornographic websites?
You gotta understand, this is the time period. This is 97.
Just existing in this current era as like a 16, 18-year-old, you're gonna have access to or have all the stuff listed here.
Yeah, which is insane. In this era today, yeah, the kids today have access to all this. Everything is problematic. And at the flick of a button.
Even Twitter is a pornographic site.
Oh, Twitter has everything. You can find everything on Twitter. It's insane. You know? Like, I mean, where was I? I lost myself. The suit and the movie and operators of the internet sites were negligent in distributing this material to a minor because it would desensitize him and make him more prone to violence. The suit is filled with federal district court and is dismissed for failing to present a legally recognizable claim. In July 2008, Thompson is permanently disbarred by the Florida Supreme Court for inappropriate conduct, including making false statements to tribunals and disparaging and humiliating language.
Do they need to add that part? Is that even relevant?
yeah, that's the best part. Yeah, the fact that they.
Yeah, but this guy's an asshole, actually.
Yeah.
Years later, 10 years later. Actually,
here's
fuck this guy.
All right, let's get a little bit serious now because this is like the real issue. 1999. Video game panic reaches new heights following the Columbine massacre. Once it is revealed that the 2 students who opened fire at Columbine were fans of violent video games and Doom in particular, people begin to blame the games for the tragedy. Several families of Columbine victims filed a federal lawsuit against 25 entertainment companies for allegedly causing the deaths. The suit is dismissed in 2002. Another case making similar allegations about a 1997 school shooting is dismissed by the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals of the same year. And like the main fucking big issue about that is what I found out is when I looked into Columbine. It's like the 2 kids, like yeah, they made their own Doom mod of basically the school, and the rumor is like they had like the kids and blah blah blah, and like yeah, they were basically simulating. They were using the game to fucking.
I understand.
But this is all
like,
rumor. This is all nobody fucking really.
Like this was like a new technology at the time, and it's like, oh look, this is like bad detective work. Like you go into someone's house and like do an investigation. Like, oh look, there it is. There's the holy grail of information we need to totally understand the motivation of the killer. It's like, oh, he played he played Resident Evil 2 on hard mode.
He
Yeah, and
played it, beat it in 2 hours, and unlocked everything.
he was speed running it at
I
that point.
love
Yeah, no,
the Doom mod is like that's like a whole other thing, and like that you can maybe like start to be like, okay, he's becoming obsessive with it in this kind of way, and he's showing that through the game. But you can kind of do that through drawings and stuff too, like your music or creative expression, whatever.
I mean it's insane like that, and you understand this is the beginning when things get serious because we see here in the year 2000, Indianapolis enacts an ordinance limiting minors' access to video games. The city ordinance would have forbidden any operator of 5 or more video game machines in one place from allowing a minor unaccompanied by a guardian, a parent, a guardian, or other custodian to use an amusement machine that is harmful to minors. It requires appropriate warning signs and that such machines be separated by a partition from the other machines in the location, and that their viewing areas be concealed from persons who are on the other side of the partition. This ordinance never goes into effect and is struck down by the Seventh Court of Appeals the following year in American Amusement Machines Ass Assen versus Kendrick. I apologize. I thought it said Ass versus Kendrick. I'm so sorry, guys.
I mean, that seems
But
reasonable to me because, like, if you go to a movie theater, like, obviously you're not going to let the kids walk in to go see, Scream 8 or whatever, or Saw 9.
what they mean is that they don't want little Timmy playing House of the Dead, or Time Crisis.
Or
So
Zombies
they would
Ate My
put like
Neighbors.
yeah, they'll put like those cabinets on the side, and like the more appropriate cabinets would be like more in the front. Like that's why like the fighting games will always be in the back and like the movie theaters, if you ever notice.
But what if little
And that
Timmy
makes
is
more sense.
so,
Now that I'm reading this, it's starting to make more sense. Yeah.
But what if little Timmy is so good at House of the Dead 2 he could beat the magician in under 2 minutes?
Oh, good lord. Does
We'll
that
never know
that
now.
create violent behavior? That creates violent behavior.
I mean, if
is
they
a-
let him grow up, maybe he could have been an excellent router in the military.
So true.
Oh,
He could have been the magic bullet man. the third shooter.
Oh no.
No,
Jesus
no, no. All right,
Christ.
we're gonna move on now. Yeah, we're gonna move on.
Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
2001 is a year that we all know because of what happened. We don't have to go into it, and it does
Devil May Cry
change.
came out that year.
Shut your mouth. It did change the development cycle for a lot of games, in terms of their approach, especially for the release of Grand Theft Auto. Because of the attacks that did happen, they had to change certain things. A lot of other games did too. So it's fine they didn't bring up that controversy. At least they should have, but whatever. Because they're talking about some PhD stuff here. I'm not really concerned about that. 2002, federal legislation proposed to ban sale of violent games to minors. U.S. Representative Joe Baca, a Democrat from California, introduces a bill that would make selling or renting video games to minors a federal crime. The bill is aptly named the Protect Children from Video Games, Sex, and Violence Act of 2003. Washington State introduces a similar law which would fine retailers about $500 for selling violent video games to minors.
So
Now,
we're
this
seeing
one was a
just
problem.
a lot of these lawsuits essentially is what we're going
Yeah,
through
I'm
right
getting
now.
at. Yeah, a lot of people going through, and finally, the main one is the GTA controversy, obviously with the hot coffee mod, which sets everything off, and everybody was like, "Yeah, we need to start regulating these games, start watching these people." And then this is when Hollywood got involved also, and they started making games, haha. But like that's all conspiratorial shit. But the main thing is like, yeah, they were getting caught up in these different lawsuits. The companies themselves were getting sued by families, different organizations. Games were becoming problematic. They had to change their development style. They couldn't be super violent. They couldn't take the Japanese approach where they had a little bit more creative freedom. Please keep in mind, like they still have like their whole Dojin world where they can do like the homemade games, and
Like
pass it along.
I'm willing to accept that there might be like some correlation here. Like if it's like something like very explicit and like invigorating about like a certain game or a movie or like a book, and that like maybe on some level like it can like reach your subconscious and like make you behave in a certain manner. Like I'm willing to believe it, especially for certain individuals, because like for me, like alcohol, like I could have a drink of alcohol and not think about it and just go about my day. Like same for like gambling or anything. Like has no effect on me, right? And maybe it's the same for like these video games where like I could play Resident Evil 7 and kill the goop monsters, and I don't want to run around my house finding mold. Like I don't really care. Like,
But I think
like it has like I'm willing to entertain that perhaps it has some effect on some people. I guess. The more I think about it, like if it's like really explicit, it's like where it's like almost like a those movies with the practical effects. Like if you get something like that and you get someone really immersed in that whole scenario, like I guess you could create like a accurate simulation of the situation and make it like appealing in that way.
Well, I think that's when it becoming issues, and that's why like No Mercy got pulled off, because you have people where they might want to end up doing the real thing. You know, they no longer want the fantasy. You know, they can't tell the difference between fantasy and reality. You know, it's starting to blend for them, regardless if it's a computer game. You know, so that's why I understand. Like, again, it's that type of questionable material. You know, it can't be allowed. It's like, what the fuck is this?
That actually reminds me of that controversial episode. What was that show? What was that show with Ice-T where he plays the cop? CSI or something?
Yes, he's in that. He's in CSI. He's in Law and Order. He's in
I think it was Law and Order, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was something like that where like the controversy with Gamergate, the controversy with Gamergate at the time, and then they made a whole episode about it and how the dude couldn't associate reality with fantasy. So like towards the end, he's at gunpoint, and then through his eyes, he's just seeing like the HUD layout, like the health bars, and like the what's the thing from Fallout, the the VAT system. No, the VAT system where you could slow down and pick where you want to shoot somebody and all this stuff.
Oh my god!
But like, are we gonna go and like ban alcohol like we did in the what was it, the 20s?
Yeah.
Or like ban gambling and like ban a violent movie. Like I don't know. Like I guess some people might have a problem with it, like on a deeper level that I don't understand. I guess I'm willing to accept that. The more I think about it.
And it's funny that you say that, because right now the industry itself is almost welcoming and celebrating, you know, the eventual arrival of Grand Theft Auto 6. You know, and as we can see, you know, back in 2003 with the Hot Coffee mod, that game, you know, what was the main face of controversy, you know, and now they're almost just like, oh, what are they gonna do now? I mean, obviously you can't do that questionable behavior in a game like Grand Theft Auto 6, you know, but things have changed. So
let's talk about Schedule 1.
Is there controversy behind this game too?
I haven't heard anybody. I imagine there would be.
No, because to my understanding, there is a achievement in this game that you can acquire that calls you an Indian giver. And people are up in arms saying that it is a racist, derogatory term or remark. It should be removed. And I'm saying this is a game where you guys are all selling drugs. So even that, would a game like this even exist back in, I don't know, 76? You know, when Death Race came out? You know, could a game like this exist in 83 when Cuss's Revenge came out?
I imagine if you had like a autistic 8-year-old in your house, he could beat this game in like 4 hours.
Oh, good lord!
Become a pro.
And that's why I'm saying, like, these type of games always existed, even on the Japanese side. Like I said, like the cyberpunk games where you can sell drugs and make money on the side, blah blah blah. Like it's just.
Again, sorry for the quality, folks.
No, not an issue. I mean, this game is insane to me. The fact that you got to call the plug, you know, and then eventually you become the plug.
Hey, you got a skateboard already?
Yeah.
I thought that was expensive.
Moving up in the world.
Yes.
But no, so the point of this game, for people who don't know, is that you essentially it's a management simulator game where you have like a drug empire that you're building, and you're influencing the people in the town to work for you and or become addicted to the different strains of drugs that you create. And you build up your money, you build up your facilities, and there's a lot of silliness in the game, which is, I think, the main reason why it's become so popular. Like, there's a strain you can create where it's called a Tropic Thunder, where the person who smokes it, their skin begins to darken.
Damn, but it's okay when Tony Montana does it, but little Timmy on his skateboard can't do it.
Listen, my thing is the controversy behind Indian Giver. You just told me that they created a drug that turns you black. Ladies and gentlemen, they're picking and choosing
Robert
right
Downey
now.
Jr. from that movie.
Like, even like a game mechanic. Can a game mechanic exist like that in 1998? You know, or 99? You know, good lord, things have changed with the rating systems.
I'll tell you one thing: if it did come out in '98, it would have been part of the "quote unquote" greatest year of gaming, as people want to call it.
And you gotta understand that this wasn't the only game where you can like. Actually, no. The only game I could think of where you can use drugs was like Narc, right, for the PlayStation 2. Was that the game, Jose? Help me here.
Honestly, I don't know.
I gotta look it up now.
What was it? Weren't there games back then that like had a healing system where it was essentially like steroids?
Yeah, we can use drugs and steroids and all this weird stuff. No, you're not. That's why I'm just like, where's the controversy? Yeah, it was for the PlayStation 2. Narc, this game. Jesus Christ, I gotta. This game is fucking insane.
What about the movie games like the Sopranos game and the?
Yeah, you could do cocaine in that game. Yeah, I'll post it up for you.
Scarface the game.
Yeah, this is another game. In this game, you can do drugs. Here, yeah.
What the hell is
Yeah,
this?
you shoot people and do drugs. I'm not even playing.
Oh, that's very loud. Sorry.
God, I love old PS2 games. There's something Kino about them. I don't get it.
This is like a beta version of Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus.
And yeah, in this game, you rob drug dealers, you take drugs, you sell drugs. Like, I don't think you sell the drug. You just take the drugs mostly. You know, but instead of Schedule 1, you don't kill anybody at all.
Objective complete.
Objective complete.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah,
you
you
remember
can
that the Call of Duty controversy with the airport? No Russian.
No Russian? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a classic
Yeah, they had,
controversy.
Like, warning before the mission.
We actually should have spoke about that. Yeah,
we are now.
That was a problem.
What do you mean? We should have spoken about that. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, like I remember, like that was a problem actually. Like that was a legit problem.
That was a big one. And this is one more recent one.
It was a shit show.
The remaster included it too, I guess.
Yes, it did. I believe. Yeah, they kept the scene. They kept everything intact.
I'm gonna pause it before anything happens because I was really uncomfortable when I played it the first time. I don't want to subject people to that.
You were uncomfortable?
Yeah, I was weirded out. I was like, that did not feel right.
You want to know what I did? I started pretending I was an MK Ultra agent.
Allegedly, ladies and gentlemen.
This was kind of like like the 2 Girls 1 Cup thing. That was kind of like the situation with this mission for me because I didn't own the game. So my cousin's like, "Here, I want you to play this new game." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Here, just play." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
He turns it on.
That's why you feel that way because he
puts the mission on, and then he's like, "All right, here you go." And then he's just looking at me.
Why.
And then he's just looking at me and laughing as I'm going through the mission. I'm like, this feels wrong. This does not feel like people are hiding, and I'm like supposed to like take that. Ugh.
Go the mission.
Huh? What?
Show the mission.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Show
doing
it.
That. No.
And fast forward.
To what?
The part where they shoot him.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Yo, you remember at the end of the mission they shoot him?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go to that part at least.
We sent a strong message to this attack, Makarov.
That was no message. This is a message.
The Americans thought he could deceive us. When they find that body, all of Russia will cry for war.
Yeah, shit was bugged out. I remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember that part.
Yeah,
I
'cause
don't,
you
even,
didn't
I don't
play
even think
the
I got
game.
through the whole level. I was like, I think I stopped playing once it like got to like the plane tarmac.
It's because he made you feel uncomfortable at that point. That's why.
Well, the game did that.
He both did. Yeah.
The game was the main culprit. I was like, this feels weird. It's like I was playing Valheim with some friends recently, and there's like a part in the game called the Mistlands where there was like these little gnomes walking around, and they have like green health bars over them, so that means they're not enemies, right? So they're just chilling, right?
Yeah.
And then like we're like, so what are we supposed to do? So we look it up and it's like, oh, they have the thing that we need, so we got to take them out. And I would just be standing there like, this feels wrong. And then me and my two buddies were like killing all of them and fighting them, and I'm just like standing there like, I don't want to fight them, and just run away. Like, you guys can fight them. I'm not fighting these guys. This feels weird.
Nah, I'm not gonna go for it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it.
It's like, why am I gonna
Go not.
like be the antagonizer here for the situation? Feels weird. I don't like
It's
that.
okay. It's okay to sell drugs, huh? It's okay to sell drugs in this game, right?
Yeah, this is.
I mean,
fun.
if the CIA does it, why not?
Oh shit, Jose, please.
You can pretend you're a CIA agent when you're playing this game. And this guy's got all the shortcuts. Look at him go. What do you think about it, Mr. Jose? What do you think about all these controversial games?
I think it's a little blown out of proportion, and I can also see the argument of how it can warp a child's perspective on reality and fantasy. But again, it comes back to the argument of it's up to the parent to be responsible and to monitor the children and explain to them the difference between reality and fantasy. Because more often than not, it's always the parents that basically give them an iPad or an iPhone and let them run wild. And then before you know it, it's like the parents always have like a dumb look on their face. Like, oh, how could this happen to my child? You know exactly what happened. You were neglectful. You didn't show them right from wrong. And, actions have consequences. I don't think there needs to be like a strict ban or something. I just think like parents just need to be more responsible with their children and explain this stuff to them. That's me personally.
But selling drugs is okay, huh?
You're gonna keep going back to
I mean, listen, bro. If they were doing it to the black community back in the day, it is what it is. I know Reagan had the whole war on drugs and DARE and whatnot in the 80s and 90s, but come on now. Drugs, abuse, resistance, and education. I always remember that. Winners don't do drugs, kids.
Winners don't do.
Winners don't.
They snort them.
But I want to circle back to that no mercy thing. Just so we can end it back here. It's like, are we on a personal level, I'm not okay with this. I'm not gonna play it. I don't care for it. But I'm
Is
like,
it a real game?
I mean, there's a lot of games that aren't real games, so those don't bother me. So they can exist, like shitty games can exist. I have no problem with them, but I don't know, man. This is a weird one. This is like the whole conspiracy with the adult videos and like what they promote there, right? It's kind of like that.
Yeah. Show me the video of the game. Show me if it's real.
The game?
Show me the mother's body.
I don't even know if we can pull that up.
Show me his body.
So show me his body. Well, that was a roller coaster of a ride, and I'm certain this video is gonna get.
It's gonna get the ultimate demonetization.
We're gonna be shadow banned for like 3 years now for doing this, but I don't know. Let's see where the line is. I guess. Any final statements from you, Mr. Keck, since you've led us on this journey?
How about Jose says something quick as I continue to finish chewing my pizza?
Jesus Christ, man.
Remember, kids, winners don't do drugs.
Should I just end the video? Now that I've said that, they're really gonna click
quick,
off.
quick. Are you eating the pizza with the Crystal Pepsi?
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful.
Well, what I wanted to end the episode with is that let's be very honest now. A game like that shouldn't exist. I understand that I was mentioning before that there were older games that had similar themes, and I was doing it simply to provide a historical context. Even for some of the most popular games that we know of, for Shin Megami Tensei, one of their older iterations. I believe it's the Megami Gaiden series, where one of their characters is, let's be very honest, is practically raped and eaten by the demons, and then she is reborn as a phoenix character, and depending on the character's path, it could be a good phoenix or a bad phoenix. So they're even playing with like these religious themes. So even if a game like that was released in America, it would be super controversial. You have the religious theme, you have all these religious zealots. They don't like type of material like that, talking about God. They think it's very blasphemous, and then the violence itself, is when the government is involved. And as we went through the timeline, we've seen it, and they're still getting involved to this day. I'm pretty sure that some of those games that are coming out from China are heavily funded by Xi Jinping himself, okay? I know that for a fact. And let's not kid ourselves. I mean, a lot of these games were based off of a military technology. Tekken was using military technology. Virtua Fighter was using
military technology to get you to sleep with your mom.
You got to keep the birth rates up, man. You got to sleep with mom.
Keep the bloodline pure.
Yeah.
It's what Xi Jinping and John Cena want for you, okay?
This is what I love, man. This is why I have you guys here. I love it. But no, seriously, like this type of material is disgusting. When it's full blatant like this.
Do you have more of a problem with it if it's a game or if it's a movie?
We have an expert here, and he showed me certain doujin hentai games where you can do certain things where there's like visual novel styles where you can go out.
We don't
with
have
the
to get into
character.
the details, but like I just mean like specifically like if the same type of shit is like on a game or if it's on a movie, like which one do you have more of a problem with?
I watched the movie with a full blown scene.
Okay, but if it was a game, would you have more of a problem if it was like a game version of the movie?
I think the game version is the more problematic aspect of it. But even in the movie, it's terrible. But there's that art aspect of it. That visualization, and like there's even gonna be that one idiot that's gonna. I don't know. He's gonna try to finesse it, some way, and that's why I spoke about the hokujutsu bondage. That I wouldn't be surprised if the Japanese make a game like that, where it's a bondage simulator. People gonna have a problem with that, probably. So like, it's to me to get to my final answer. Yes, it's disgusting. It's fucking completely terrible, But like, is it gonna affect the other games of questionable sexual material that may not be as harmful? What if it was a simple game about a little leather play? I just put on my little gimp suit, and then I might cheat.
You mean Killer 7?
I'm just saying. Like, listen, it's terrible. That's the point I'm making, right? Absolutely dog shit, you know.
But I don't.
Zero
I
out
don't
of
want to. I
five,
don't want to be
0
like.
out of 10.
I don't want to be like. This is all should be banned. Like this.
No, yeah, that's the point that I'm making. That's why I was bringing up the older games that were RPGs for historical context, of course, because like those themes were being used with like even like the older like Japanese cyberpunk games where you can like do drugs and like I mentioned like you had to save the girl from like the tentacle monsters that were raping her and like obviously these were hentai themes that were popular in Japan at the time period. You know?
It's like if I'm watching a movie, right, and it's like, let's for whatever reason, let's say it's just like, well, I was gonna say action movie, that might actually be weird. If I bring
I'm
up
saying
that
this
movie.
society that shit's not good, bro. This is a dub.
Let's say there was a movie with like a controversial scene in it, and like, but there's like an artistry to it, where it's like, we're showing you this because the narrative and all this other stuff, and we want you to understand the character's perspective, and you know, look how awful this is. As opposed to like you're the you're the main character, and then you have to go and seduce your parent.
Oh my god!
I just laugh because it's funny to me, but I don't know, maybe like. Like I don't know, like.
Disgusting.
Is
No, honestly, it's disgusting.
one has more artistic integrity to it, I guess, right? Because it's like there's like something going on there, as opposed to like me just throwing you in the situation and being like very indulgent about it. Like, isn't this great? And like it's disgusting, you know. So
Listen,
I
Jose,
don't want to
educate.
say like ban all of it because it's wrong.
No, no,
because then
yeah,
because then what happens to the artsy film? Do we ban that too?
Nah, man, I got one better for you. Don't worry. And this is very artsy. Jose, educate us on Boku no Pico.
Oh, sure, you really want to take it all the way back to
No,
that?
that's not whatever that is. Let's not do that. I don't know what that is, but it sounds awful.
I mean, yeah, that would definitely get the video taken down if I start talking about that one.
Okay.
Yeah, man. You know,
we won't get ultra banned. We'll only get super banned.
the super band. But no, I it's terrible. Fucking terrible. That's all. And that's why I wanted to go down like the whole history, you know, the different controversies in video games. I'm pretty sure there were many more that we forgot about and slipped under our nose. Perfectly fine. It's okay.
Anything else?
But at least the main ones that matter.
Any final thoughts?
Nah, I'm gonna eat my pizza now.
Do not look up Boku no Pico for your own sanity, people.
I want to leave everybody with this. Just make sure you know you guide your kids. You make sure you are aware of what they're looking at, what they're consuming, so that one day they don't go around and rape you.
Oh my god.